start the recording. We'll keep a few rules for our questions. So if you have any questions during the speeches, the presentations, you can always put them in the chat and we will read the questions after the speeches. You have also, some of you have submitted questions beforehand. We'll make sure to review those questions and answer as many of them as possible. And at the end, whenever we have the Q&A session, you're all welcome to turn unmute yourself and ask your questions. So thank you all so much. I would like to thank our speakers today, and I will give the floor to Professor Tatjana, who will start her presentation for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Narek. And thank you for invitation to participate in today's conversation about faculty growth and development. Since it's a very wide topic, I have chosen to focus more how we develop faculty in the AI age, in the front of evolving, fast, rapidly changing landscape. We are all working and where expectations are rising. And we've been asked to limit, of course, our intervention to leave more room for discussion. It's really a good purpose, and therefore I will try to show you a few slides and then, of course, not maybe going into details, but if there will be more questions, of course, I will be happy to answer. In development of faculty, we have to keep in mind what makes an exemplary faculty member. And there are many sides and many directions we as a faculty members are working. We have to be good in teaching and facilitating learning of students. We have to demonstrate high level of expertise in research and also be good academic citizen. Of course, to demonstrate many human skills and competencies, as you see here, and be literate on digital technologies and specifically demonstrate AI literacy nowadays. And it's not finished, at least. I would like to refer to Reed and Julian. That combination of technological proficiency and human touch will likely define the successful educators of the future. But the question arises, are we well prepared to fulfill our duties in the rapid evolution of AI? Are we well aware of what's going on in business, because we are here from business schools, how to teach students and facilitate learning regarding business development and use of AI, and also how to apply AI in our teaching and facilitating learning, and also how to ensure that also students are very competent in these issues, because they will be living with AI. AI will not disappear. This is many issues we have to discuss today. One second, one technical, why is this faculty development? It's so topical and hot topic nowadays, because there are many new terms appearing. We all have to learn what does it mean, and even we don't know meaning of already traditional terms we are using in academia and higher education in general. For example, student-centered learning and teaching, what does it mean in broader sense? In other cases, there we are still have to discuss what is equality, what is a pedagogical innovation, and many others. But now in above of that, it's coming these AI-related terms. I'm not going to read it because you see it on the screen, and what I would like to say is that there are also many publications coming available to assist academic staff and researchers in this matter. And this is not, I just say a few samples. And another book I would like to recommend you to read is The Future of Higher Education in an Age of Artificial Intelligence, and scientific articles are published, because we can't follow all articles, but I want to show you one framework developed by Renkema and Tursunbayeva about the future of work of academics in the age of AI. That means that attention is there, and AI has already arrived, but it's not, of course, distributed equally in application. And I can for sure say that it's not used in full potential due to many factors which influence it. And these authors offer such a framework to think about AI in academic settings, going through those main domains where we have to perform and to show high-level expertise and results in research, teaching, services, what, when, where, and particular very relevant question, how. And this academic work and AI world been influenced by many factors, individual factors. When we talk about faculty development, of course, it's not only we participate, but how we are ready. What are our personal attribution to this? On higher level factors, it's not only dependent on faculty itself, but it's also whole ecosystem need to be developed to apply better these tools in order to facilitate learning, because learning facilitation is the focus, and AI sometimes promise easy results, but learning requires efforts from both sides, students, academic staff, in order to overcome difficulties, but not to look for easy solutions which sometimes been offered by AI. When it comes to faculty development, these topics need to be discussed during training sessions, co-creation sessions, and also coaching sessions about what are tools available. Are they relevant? How they could be applied in teaching learning? What is the expertise and also experience in using these tools? What are drawbacks? What are benefits, especially related to business education? What intelligent tutoring tailoring systems are available? Because we know that this matching each student's unique learning pace, it's not easy nowadays. But through this help of tools, it will be better to facilitate this learning on individual level. How these AI systems could be applied to analyze students' learning experiences? What are conditions for accessing different AI tools for faculty and students? Because we know that only very small part of those systems delivers this free usage, but when it comes to more rigid application, of course, it's conditions where you have to pay for it. What are the benefits and drawbacks of using these tools, including ethical dilemmas, dependency, how to overcome dependency on technology, and many others. Another domain where faculty development is required to develop skills, competencies related to research. And there are another authors offered a framework for considering when we deliver training to faculty on research matters, 6 domains on idea development, research design, content development and structuring, literature review, synthesis, and others. And there are, again, AI tools available, how we use it responsibly, how we apply it with reference, what we applied. In this morning, we had a discussion with Swiss Business School Journal of Applied Research, and then the question arises, if a researcher uses AI in writing article, for example, Grammarly, is it forbidden? Is it considered already as a plagiarism? Many of those issues are discussed nowadays by also these publishing houses and editorial boards. From different sides, we have to address these issues. And then the next domain where we are all involved and need to excel, it's about how to fulfill our academic citizenship roles. We have to perform in different councils, different decision-making bodies, not only national, internationally, being an experts, and many other activities. What are tools available to make life a little bit easier, but from another side to broaden our perspectives and helping us also to increase efficiency in fulfilling these roles. Many of you already use these tools, and the tools are increasing, even we can't follow, and they are used for many purposes. They already been used in students' learning process, and the question is also how to detect the use of these tools, or what kind of policies we do have on university, business schools levels. Yeah, these clear rules are needed for both sides. And of course, as I said, how we ensure equal access to those systems in order to improve our teaching and students also learning phase. How this is approached in Latvia? Riga Stradiņš University and many other universities, business schools developed already guidelines. Like you see from the left side, there are guidelines on the usage of AI in higher education. I have checked that it's also available in English. If those who will be interested, I could forward link to those guidelines. And by our surprise, Ombudsman of Latvia also initiated survey on usage of AI in higher education. This is also the good results for discussions, and today we will discuss these results also with the Higher Education Council. Yesterday I received the survey from National Scientific Council on application of AI in research. So almost every day we have the topic, it's for discussion on AI, fast and rapid involvement and usage. And Riden also, which I found very useful to say, that he was transformed this publish or perish, he said, adapt or perish. In the context of higher education, this could mean a shift towards great emphasis on upskilling, continuous professional development for educators, which means it's really our today's topic. And based on this presentation prepared, I uploaded it in Jungle AI, and in order to generate questions, this AI was created in order to help teachers, professors, in order to generate questions based on presentations. And what questions came, it's free of charge, but if you would like to get more, to have all these 27 questions generated from this presentation I'm sharing, you have to pay. And this is the issue again, yeah. But of course, it's just a sample. It's not necessary to use this AI for generating questions, but this is a tool. And to finalize, you know that ChatGPT can write good poems, and there are many AI could improve your presentations, to make literature review, and many other things. But for this poem, what is created by ChatGPT, I will use only the last, last part. For in this age, as tech evolves, the heart of learning still resolves a blend of human touch and code in partnership. We walk the road. So it means we have to embrace these systems, but we have to use it responsibly. We have to create ethical guidelines, principles, and keeping in mind that learning, it requires efforts, and it's not easy solutions, no one size fits all. And this is our hand, what kind of environment we are going to create, how we will be well prepared for this AI age. And thank you for your attention. And of course, I will be happy to answer to questions. And of course, I will be happy to share also the presentation.
Perfect. Should we listen to our next speaker, and then we can take questions at the end if this works for everybody? Perfect.
Okay, if silence is a sign of agreement, then I guess it's my turn. My name is Marge Sassi. I come from Tallinn Technical University. And as Professor Volkova gave us such a broad and deep overview of the future scenarios, so the current state of using AI universities, it's really difficult to add something. Therefore, I have chosen to have more student orientation and also reflecting my own experiences. So to have a slightly different approach. But I have also one slide. So for those of you who can wait, I will finish with one slide as well. As I mentioned, I work last 3 years for Tallinn Technical University as a senior lecturer. And I'm very happy to say it out publicly that I truly believe I have the best employer I could have. What makes my employer today the best? Not only the fact that we have faculty teaching and not teaching, faculty development competency center, which is already amazing, but the fact that in onboarding process, our staff members can feel appreciated and also feel that they are trusted enough. By that I mean they are given enough autonomy and guided gently. This is for me the model of taking care and initiating growth in any stuff, especially in creative stuff that the university lecturers usually are. So this has made me feel from my day one in Tallinn Technical University that this is the place where I want to be. Most probably the reality of today's academic stuff is that no day is the same, and we can't stay on the same competency or knowledge level we used to be, but we have to run quicker than the trends around us too. And of course, AI is one of the trends we can't ignore, especially because currently we have reached the historical moment when the students are partly more clever than the academics around them. And historical moment, not in this sense, it has always happened, but not on such an extreme level. And of course, this raises some challenges. It also gives us opportunities. And for me, it signals the need to build different kind of relationships between students, between the faculty, relationships that from one side are based on trust, but also mutual learning and teaching. I don't mind to be thought to be taught by my students when it concerns AI or any digital applications. It's fine. And I also have understood that all this digitality around us gives us so much opportunities, but it can also be for some people reason for anxiety, digital anxiety. And this is also one possibility to pay more attention to people around us, address more diversity management, and also understand that even though the AI is here, most probably to stay, our level and competences in digital world, but also our willingness to cooperate is different, and it's okay. We can't expect everybody to cooperate on the same level and the same kind of approach. What is also important from my side is that Tallinn Technical University has not only provided us with the tools and trainings with high professionals, also helping us to do our research using AI, building the skills, foundation of skills on that. But we have also created Teams group for AI friends or those who want to share our experiences among the colleagues. And learning from colleagues has always been very inspiring. And this is why I would also like to highlight two of my favorite, I even can't give them a name, not trainings, but let's call it eye-opening moments among my fellow lecturers. First of all, in the Institute of Business Administration, where I work, we have launched a year ago stand-ups, regular stand-ups. And it has nothing to do with joking or fooling around. It is just that it's a short moment in between the lectures. Usually it's half an hour, where we meet in our kitchen. There is always a table filled with some snacks, coffee, as today. And there's always a colleague sharing some insights, either from conferences, either some kind of solution that he or she has learned and is eager to teach the others. And to be honest, these 30 minutes mini trainings that we call stand-ups have proven to be more successful as they are so up to date. They don't require previous knowledge. You can get your answers right away. You can also turn to the colleagues later when you meet them in the corridors. So this is the format I would really, I haven't met it before. Perhaps it's like regular or in common elsewhere, but for me, it has been the best learning moment. And another approach that I would also emphasize in terms of learning from each other are the joint cooking nights. With my research group, organizational studies research group, we celebrated New Year's. Christmas time is too busy, so we had a meeting, unofficial gathering in January in Food Academy. And surprise, surprise, it was not just cooking the duck and the most delicious desserts, but it was also something to learn more about from each other. And we also had a training about sleeping habits and sleeping hygiene. So you may ask me that, okay, we should focus on management topics and build our experiences as management lecturers. On the other hand, when our own basic needs are not filled, and sleeping need is definitely something that also our students most probably, I don't want to use any negative word, but could have a better understanding of this issue. So these are also the knowledges that we need to survive. But the third learning experience for me as a staff member has been traineeship. My kids at home, who are 18 and 12, asked me that, Mom, don't you think you are too old for this? You going for traineeship? I didn't have any doubts myself, but we have regular traineeship contract with one of the banks, Swedbank. I know it's also in Latvia, and of course it comes from Sweden. And we as faculty members had a week. It could be 1 week in a row, or it could be separate days to see how the bank is working. And as a result of this, I, of course, felt and could smell and touch the corporate culture of absolutely differently functioning organization. But on the other hand, I gathered very up-to-date teaching materials for my students. So, and perhaps the third positive aspect in this experience was the fact that I could also see that in cooperation, enterprises, always win-win happens. You may think that we are most probably in some things a bit slower than business world, where I'm sorry, the financial resources are less limited. But on the other hand, as a temple of knowledge, which the universities are, I also felt like I have so much to offer to the society. So it was not just learning from the bank, but also understanding what kind of internal resources I can't use in university. I actually have have represented in me. But as I was given 10 minutes and it's already over, I will quickly share my slides to show you one slides about the Excellency Center of Teaching and Educational Research that we have. And why do I want to speak about it is that in this center, in Tallinn Technical University, a beautiful model has been created, which I would, as time is up, I will not go to the details too much, but what I would like to stress here is one of the goals, which is shared responsibility. And this is perhaps something that is even more important than trust in times of AI. It's perhaps even more important than paying attention to onboarding processes or diversity management, which all are very important. But shared responsibility and understanding each stakeholder's role in that is a magnificent treasure, I would say. And what I also appreciate about this goal is that Estonia is, according to Gerd Hofstede, a really individual country with our very egoistic values, and therefore sometimes it also needs to be reminded that we are stronger together, we can learn together, and you don't actually need to do everything on your own. You can rely on colleagues, and also CEEMAN is here to support our basis of knowledge and experiences. Therefore, having this slide on screen, I would actually like to make not a declaration, but perhaps open a floor also to one potential either hackathon, brainstorming, or even competition idea, that why not would CEEMAN be the one to initiate the collection of the best practices among faculty members, how we have used AI, how we have learned from students, and how to build the learning environment for students and for teachers in the turbulent times more enjoyable, and also perhaps this enjoyability is important, so that we could all feel that we can learn, we don't stand still. Right, so I stopped sharing the screen, and if there are any questions, then I have understood that Professor Volkova and me stay here to answer anything that comes into your mind. Thank you once again for the possibility to share the ideas.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for this amazing presentations and for all of the information and your experience that you shared with us. Now we will have our Q&A session, and I would ask our members, whoever has a question, you can go ahead and ask your questions to our speakers. Or maybe a comment, yes.
Yes, can we ask a question?
Of course, yes.
Yes, so our first question would be to the first speaker. Thank you very much for sharing your insights on the use of AI in the education. We would like to know about the, if the use of AI is still under a review in terms of academic ethics, what would be the right way of using AI in research? So if we take it as a type of plagiarism in which cases we can accept it as something that's not plagiarism? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Really, it's under the review, under development, under review, but regarding the use of AI and plagiarism, these are based on discussions, of course, and application of those ethical principles in usage of AI and communicated the policies of the business school or broader some scientific journals or other academic community. And this is AI ethics and guidelines need to be developed based on discussions. Based on discussions, what do we consider as plagiarism and what is not? This morning we already had a discussion, for example, can we use Grammarly and AI for developing articles? And there are diverse views and diverse practices, and starting from saying, yes, exactly, it's plagiarism, or there could be some maybe other point of view that, for example, if it's used for minor grammar improvement and it's stated by the authors that it's used for that purpose, then it could be not considered as a plagiarism. And then another point was used that for plagiarism checking systems, one colleague from Poland shared that plagiarism dropped significantly when students started to use AI, because these current systems don't identify this like a plagiarism. This is also the issue about ethical use of these tools, because we can see how AI can transform your initial thoughts, and therefore this is responsibility of author to recheck suggestions and also to claim that this is a author's work for which purpose AI been used, and this need to be stated at the end of article or even beforehand by starting to do this research. It could be included into certain AI methodology, that what kind of tools being used for generating like bibliometric analysis and so on. These are our joint efforts to find the way out of this issue and to co-create and co-learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next, yes.
And actually, I really thank both of presenters for sharing their thoughts with us. So I am from Croatia, and I'm leading the doctoral program in entrepreneurship and innovativeness. And we actually have now problem with using artificial intelligence. And so what Tatjana just said, for us, it is okay if students are using, or all of us, if we are using artificial intelligence, for example, to make our texts grammarly correct. But the question is, if I would be the person in education sector or in philosophy, where I will be responsible for running the program for people who should be the specialists in language. Would be correct for them to use artificial intelligence in that way or not? So my point is that we do not have answers. We really do not know how to deal with this. We cannot say it does, we cannot forbid it, because we are in this situation. But I would appreciate if Tatjana, if you can share with us how you are solving such issues, very practical in your context. So that's one thing. And another thing related to what Marge, if I pronounced your name correctly, said, I would suggest that all of us, traditional teachers, avoid word teaching and replace it with co-learning. because never, ever were the teachers in situations that they did not learn something from their students, pupils, whoever. So co-learning is every day, is the life in which we live always. And as you know, the tradition, the basics of education, of learning, was just talking to each other. Just bring it back in our surrounding and learn something also from the past. So that's my comments.
If I may, just shortly reflect and go, and then Marge, sorry, yes, but I'm so excited what you have said, Slavica, about co-learning. This is exactly how this needs to be nowadays, through discussions, through asking different opinions of students. This is also my favorite approach. We are talking with each other. Like today, we have conversation, because as Marge mentioned, the students are sometimes even smarter than we in certain things. And yeah, Marge, you said that I'm not afraid to learn, and we have to co-create this future and learn together. This is very, very valid point, and I support your suggestions that we are not smarter than them. We are not teaching, we are learning from them as well. This co-learning, co-creation through discussion, it's a valid point. And I think, and what kind of practical approaches use it for different, of course, programs, as you say, in education and philosophy, of course, even for preparing this, even for language programs, or to become an editor, or translators, or other role of jobs. Of course, AI is helpful. Answers the question how we are using. Those students also have to be aware about those tools, and this could be beneficial for them as well to learn what not to do, for example, to be critical, for critical thinking, and to generate new terms like you did today. Yeah, this is very much appreciated. And practically, I delivered a course in Switzerland, and then exactly what's happened, I gave a task to students to look for such a tools, and they referred it back, and they had 1 hour for discussions, and they registered. Of course, this is a hands-on teaching or co-learning experience as well. It's very helpful. But clear guidelines, rules, principles need to be discussed in the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you. I very quickly add one comment. Thank you for the question about trust and about what is allowed and what is not, and how to regulate it. The discussion is still ongoing in Estonia, in Tallinn Technical University as well. But I would just like to reuse one example of one of the last AI trainings where I participated as student. And there was the example that the trainer gave us, was that when your mom goes instead of you to gym, then your mom gets fit. Then AI provides you new data that you present as a knowledge. Then AI gets fitter, more clever, and you are as fat or slim as you were before your mom went to the gym, right? So therefore, I would say that perhaps it's time to reformulate our mission. If the mission is that we want students to do everything by themselves, and then we are there to moderate the process, that's fine. If a future skill, new competence that the managers need is also writing the correct prompts, asking the AI the questions or presenting the challenges in an understandable way, is also a skill. So this is, I would say that we are on a crossroad, and co-learning and co-decision-making, how to proceed, because otherwise AI will decide, is this what we want? Or we want to be the deciders ourselves, right?
Thank you so much. And next, maybe Edita could take.
Hello, thank you for great presentations and all the inspiring ideas. I remember also from our conference in Innsbruck, I think it was a Spanish presenter from IESE who was talking about exactly this, incorporating AI and teaching students instead of forbidding or monitoring their use, on how to be skillful in preparing presentations and projects together with the AI. And I remember this was a very nice, a little bit different approach, because you can be a good translator using AI, and you don't have to be the good translator with AI nowadays, quite the opposite. So I really like this approach. But I wanted to ask if any of you have an experience of, because still some kind of regulations, some kind of framework for using AI needs to be in place. And I can see even from talks today, but in general, that there is a kind of decentralized approach. So each university is sitting together and thinking, what can we do? Do you have any experience from your countries to do it on a national level, which could really make much more sense to do it at least on national level, but preferably even in international level, because we talk about publications which are not limited or research to institutions. Do you maybe, I don't know, in Latvia, or I know Estonia is always very technologically advanced, to have it in national level? Thank you.
I will give opportunity, Marge. Please.
Thank you so much. Well, actually, Professor Volkova mentioned it in her presentation, that there is a Latvian general guidelines and then strategy for this. We have a general guidelines from our Ministry of Education and Science as well. And we have not literally rewritten it, but adapted these state guidelines to our context. And to some extent, it works very well, but there are always exceptions. And these exceptions are challenging. And these exceptions, where the situation is not black and white, and the students are thinking outside the guidelines that have been prepared, these are the challenges. So perhaps it's time to have, additionally to traditional ethics committees, also some IT ethics approach, because it seems we are not really attackable, but it's easy to surprise us from students' side. So therefore, yes, even though papers exist, even though papers have been prepared based on very deep discussions, but I'm not sure we have actually included students in these discussions, have we? I'm not sure. So therefore, perhaps it's time to reformulate the central questions and together build the new future scenarios.
Thank you, I agree, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I just will complement what was said by Marge. On national level, we don't have those guidelines, but we have on universities level. Therefore, I already shared, and of course, this information need to be collected broader, which universities do have and which might are under development, and probably such survey could be initiated, and then to see what actions could take place. But based on this ombudsman survey, there are some suggestions in order to develop these guidelines as well on national level. And recently, guidelines also for responsible AI use in research. I assume that there will be call for such national guidelines to be developed, because this initiative comes from National Research Council. And if I may share with you also one link, it's about European level ethical guidelines on the use of artificial intelligence and data in teaching and learning for educators. It was developed and already a few years ago, but nevertheless, there is a still many reflections are needed. Yeah, and this training, what Marge mentioned, it's essential for all business schools, not only from faculty perspective, but also from program managers' perspective, also from administrators' perspective, because when we talk about quality of higher education, it's not only what's happening in the auditoriums, it's all what services we provide. So it's a whole ecosystem related to that. There are softwares need to be developed. There are many different other tools which goes aligned with that. That's why this is a very, very timely discussion what we do have. And I know that International Management Teachers Academy already has done it. So mentioned in the previous conversation over coffee that IMTA is looking for professors who would like to come and to expand this view on AI usage together with participants. So this is very timely when we are talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we will have Jennifer. Yes.
Right, yeah, good morning. I'm going to not turn on my camera because I literally just rolled out of bed. It's very early where I am in the US. I did want to make a quick comment with Slavica about native speakers or people who work in the language using Grammarly or stuff. I use Microsoft 365 Copilot all the time when I'm writing, just to make sure my language is as tight as possible. I mean, I'm a native speaker, but that doesn't mean I'm perfect. So I do make use of that AI regularly to make sure that I have good writing skills. But I think mine is from the student perspective, and maybe Marge might have more, but how do you monitor student use of AI and making sure they're not using AI? I mean, my students sometimes do it really stupidly by like putting an exam question into Google AI and coming up with an answer, which obviously is wrong. But how do you manage that? And is there a way to track if they're using AI inappropriately? And also, do you guys have a policy for your students in using AI?
Yes, we do. We have, of course, it's for development, but this policy, it's for using AI, it's not yet maybe certainly formatized, but discussions we had on department level and also in scientific council of business school. I'm coming from School of Business and Finance, but what is clear in this policy is that every academic staff, when they start to prepare also these tasks for students to be fulfilled, they have to set clear rules on how the students respond and how they really indicate that this AI tool be used, and the plagiarism on usage of AI. Also, it's need to communicate it with the students. But the issue is that when we create tasks for students, they need to be so creative tasks that it's not easy to find questions based on just AI. You need to put critical reflection. You have to show your personal point of view. And then when I'm checking student submissions, even on doctoral level, because they have to prepare reports, for example, on latest trends in innovation management, research trends in strategic management, or other matters, I always have a later conversation with those students about understanding what they are writing, and I can see already, based on my experience, where are those parts are taking from AI, and especially understanding individual students' performance level during classes, that we always have honest conversation about it. Thank you.
Well, our situation is quite similar. We stress also in our guidelines on the need to report which tool and for what purposes did you use. And problem starts when the student has used something and has not reported it. Nevertheless, when the student has honestly copy-pasted the script, not the script, the prompt, or explained what was done exactly by using AI, then I do have sometimes doubts if this is too much, too little, where's the borderline? And therefore I actually try to find ways to negotiate this exceptional cases with my colleagues. But this is now perhaps not the best example, but in order to avoid situations where we are not as regulated as perhaps needed, or not as trust-oriented as needed, in order to protect myself, I have switched back to oral exams in some cases. And even though in my management and leadership course, I have 230 students, having oral exams with all of them would be challenging. This is the reason why I have last year used the oral exam for those of students who haven't been at least on average level. And these students must have the obligation to speak to me face to face. And by that, I have tried to ensure the fact that only using AI, you actually can't succeed in my course. But of course, it's a possibility that among these 81% students whose grade is 81% right, there are clever enough students who have given the impression that they have done it by themselves, but actually it has been AI. So it's always the chance, but at least in my case, yes, oral exams are coming back. Thank you.
Great. We'll have 2 more questions. Yes.
I guess Dr. Volkova was speaking, but his mic was muted.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shad here from the public university in Saudi Arabia, and thank you, CEEMAN, for inviting me. I appreciate that, and I'd like to touch base on evaluation assessment in the AI era, and it seems that now the testing for the learners we should have a shift from that knowledge testing to more of application testing of the learners, a more perspective on the problem solving centric learning, and how we should have some assessments on how creativity plays an important role in AI, because AI is giving a dialect where how the learners can harness the better perspective of creating creativity from AI. So project-based assessment should be more focused on. And is it not possible to, from the learners, that we give them the answers and ask them to make questions? We moving around, like instead of asking, giving questions for the exams, we asking them to answer them. We give them an answer and they have to be critical in chalking out questions from that. So that perhaps may be another thought process. We can't stop AI, but I understand that why can't we intervene industry professionals to evaluate my students, because I teach business marketing. So is it not possible that instead of I evaluating them, they should be in the market, and the marketing professional in the industry should evaluate my learners and students, how best fit they are in the work, in the actual real work where they are supposed to do. Yeah, and I guess CEEMAN also has some business cases, because my faculties and we are always interested, looking forward for CEEMAN business cases every year. So perhaps I think they need also to reform somewhere. It's not just not having that text form of business cases competitions. I think we should move one step forward about how the potential winners supposed to give a presentation, and there should be a Q&A sessions, and then they should be evaluated on this in order to get awards to them. Yeah. And also, CEEMAN is restricted to, I think, 3 best cases. I think they should have at least 10. 3 best and then commendable case award should also be given. This is very important because with, I think, perhaps 50 or 60 submissions, just 3, I don't think so. It's a fair game. So in order to improve the fraternity of case studies, should be around 10. So that's my thoughts. Thank you very much.
If I may, very short remark, because I see time is running out and we should extend our conversation, but probably there is a room for continuing this. What you mentioned, Mohammed, it's very relevant, and really there is a room for this core learning innovations in different sites and different effects. That's why Marge suggested, why not to create, certain, maybe monograph or whatever, collection of different reflections on our experiences in application of AI and other tools, of course, in order to facilitate this co-learning together with the students. And these both ways are possible, either to give answers, either to provide critical reflection on terminology we are using in our courses. And when it comes to in invitation from industry, sometimes I have faced that these industry representatives, we have to be very careful whom we are inviting, because I have noticed that in business schools nowadays we are co-learning more advanced concepts rather than might industry applies. There also could be a case. I have had a case when one student got a job, was fired because she was using these concepts which boss didn't understand, and she was not having enough time to explain him because he said, I don't understand what you are talking about. Therefore, these representatives, of course, are needed, and then discussion need to be guided under maybe the supervision of the faculty member or professors, what really makes these good answers or not solutions, but together with industry representatives. Yeah? And for cases competition, I agree that need to be more developed. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And now I will give the floor to our director, Aigirim, who has a few remarks to make as well.
Well, thank you so much, Nara. It is a great pleasure to have you all here today at the Conversations Over Coffee. Again, a round of applause for our speakers and for those who contributed. Thank you so much. It's really was great to listen to it and I was taking a lot of notes. Thank you so much for the ideas about the collection of best practices, of extending the list of cases to be considered and to be available. We're taking notes and hopefully introducing those very soon. I just wanted to ensure that that's not the last conversation that we're having on faculty development. We could have another coffee chat about that. And that's not just the coffee chat, it's now tea and coffee, as we say, as we see that people are bringing their favorite drinks with them. So let's keep the conversation going. We would have this recording available on our YouTube for everyone to revisit, and maybe some new thoughts will come in. So please do share that with us or with the speakers, and we'll be happy to continue talking and cooperating with you. And of course, I cannot not say that we have our next International Management Teachers Academy IMTA this June. So this is a great opportunity for faculty members to get together to learn from each other, same as today, but in a classroom activity with lots of other things happening. So we are more than welcome to attend CEEMAN events. Our next conference is in Albania, so we could maybe catch up also there on the poster session or any other session to talk about the topics that are of common interest. I thank you all so much for your time, and I wish you the great end of the week. And if you, by any chance, have new questions that would come to your mind after the reflections, please drop us an email and we can always connect you with our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this excellent opportunity.